Haiti Biz News Show, Monday to Friday, bringing you news that's going to keep you informed, engaged, and reacting in the most optimal way for your business, investment, and entrepreneurial activity. Today is the 26th of July. Let's talk about it. And of course, if you haven't watched it yet, I'm going to remind you again, go to Seejeanty. We went to a distributor in South Florida that's grabbing products out of Haiti, mangoes to rice to pizza meat to a bunch of different stuff, and selling them in the States, right? Really cool story. We also went to the International Mango Festival. That was really cool to speak with some exporters. And of course, we do have a little Easter egg in the middle where we ran into a art dealer who's buying products from artists in Haiti and then distributing them to online. You can actually buy them yourself and put them in your home and everything. So again, if you haven't checked that episode out, this is the last time I'm gonna bring it up. Do check it out. And also, TIA, Today in Awesome. Usually I save this for the middle or towards the end of the video, but I thought, let me start bringing these towards the beginning for my slow attention, my limited attention folks, just because, it's a mission here, not only just to talk about Haitian business, but also change the perspective. And wherever, it's going to take more than just one person. And wherever we can get any additional folks doing this sort of stuff, I'm all about exposing. I'm all about sharing and discussing. And we have another YouTuber by the name of MTL Food Snob, who made a video visiting Cuisine Resto Creole restaurant over in Montreal, not in Haiti, but still, it was a really interesting video because it had a lot of really tasty food that she was eating for the very first time with another Haitian friend of hers. And, this clip right here.
I think I'm going to just stuff all of this in one go. It went too big.
Is reason alone to make it a point to watch the whole video. Really interesting content. So today we want to talk about the completion of a very important government building. It cost $29 million. It's the building that is going to hold a lot of the high court administrative legal affairs of the government. Officially and formally, it's the Superior Court of Accounts and Administration litigation, right? And that completed very recently. It started back in September of 2016. It was at a cost of $29 million. It's a 6-story building, 161,000 square feet, massive complex, right? It's going to have office space, courtrooms, deliberation rooms, auditoriums, conference rooms, and even elevators. It's going to be a very modern affair, and the outside of the building is very traditional in what you expect for a legal court space, right? And the question is China taking over reconstruction? Because it's a Chinese firm that completed it. The name of the Chinese firm is the Hongwan Construction Company Limited, right? And this company is also the company that is going to be constructing several other buildings in the Port-au-Prince area, including the Parliament. And the Parliament building itself is going to consist of 3 sites, right? It's going to be the actual site where the deputies and the senators meet and convene. Both houses of Parliament, in other words, are going to be a part of this site. It's going to feature 151 offices. It's going to have, of course, administrative support, meeting rooms. The Senate part of it is going to have 37 offices, right, in addition to meeting rooms. And then there's going to be 2 other sites. One is focused on the deputy branch, another one focused on the senators. And it's going to have, this is where they're going to park. This is where they're going to have their actual office when they're in Port-au-Prince. This is where there's going to be press areas, there's going to be meeting areas, there's going to be deliberation areas. So this is where you can imagine when they're not in Parliament voting or discussing laws as a group, this is where you could be able to find them to have individual meetings and to do their functions, right? And again, the total cost of just this particular is going to be $89 million. The financing is going to be done in large part by issues of Haitian Treasury bonds, in addition to a cancellation of IMF debt. Right, those two things together. Altogether, the Haitian government's looking at $8 million over 5 years. That's how they're going to spread over 5 years to pay for this. Right. Now, of course, there's some debate, some question on whether or not this is appropriate. Right, $89 million is a lot, especially when we don't have nearly as much infrastructure as we should have. But the reality is, guys, the Haitian government at the moment is homeless. The Haitian government at the moment, they don't have, they have a makeshift sort of meeting area currently where they're performing and functioning, but the actual place they've had prior was destroyed in an earthquake, and it's over 10 years, and we still don't have replacements for it, which is not right. It's not appropriate, right? We should have resolution from that perspective. And so I'm all for these buildings being done, being complete. I know once they're complete that they will be very symbolic, right? Especially, hopefully, these places will get an extra emphasis of cleanliness, right? The current downtown area of government administration does not have that, right? And so that certainly we hope it's going to happen. I haven't talked about this up until this point because it hasn't, I mentioned before, someone had asked and I responded online and said, listen, I'm going to talk about this only when we have concrete buildings being completed, right? And this is one, the higher court building is one, and of course, as we have other buildings complete, we'll talk about them further. Right, but at this time, we're just sort of in a wait and see pattern, right? As more of these will come to fruition and can complete. Because again, the Haitian government is very big on making announcements, but not necessarily following through on them, right? And I think certainly, from a business perspective, having places like the higher court building complete. There's been announcements. One of the announcements done for other buildings after the Parliament's complete is going to be the DGE building. The tax office is going to be complete rather soon. Recently, the Minister of Commerce building was complete, which is very important. That's where a lot of legal paperwork, a lot of things are done, especially, for example, when you're looking to export, you have to go to the Minister of Commerce and Industry to sign off on your bill of origin, for example. So having those sort of organizational buildings complete is really important for the function of business. So I'm all for the investment of these sort of infrastructure, and we need to get these out the way so then hopefully then we can start putting money towards things that we need just as much: schools, hospitals, roads, you name it, all these different things that's so critical for the masses in general. We need to be able to start, putting money into it. Public housing, another thing, all these villes populaires, it's unsustainable to have all these bidonvilles in existence, right? So that's my take on it. I'd love to hear your perspective, whether or not spending all this money to construct these government buildings, do they make sense? Should we put other priorities in place? Should we leave the government where they are? I'm sure we have some very opinionated folks who are going to write a few things, just because, again, one popular perspective is, the money they had for the past couple of years, they should have used that Petrocaribe money to do this, right? Not necessarily now, right? I hear that, and I'm sure I'll hear a lot more of the perspectives below in the comments. As always, we're here Monday through Friday, bring you news straight, untapped from the source, right? If you like what we're doing here, leave a comment, hit that notification button, hit that red button, hit that follow, right? You'll see some Patreon, some Square Cash stuff there. So if you want to give us a little extra pat in the back, you know what to do, right? And listen, until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again.